I am not ready for this at all. Alright. Are you cooperating, YouTube? How do I look? Okay. I haven't worn this much makeup in eons. Okay. Right. Hi. It's Michelle, aka Chat-Mort, and welcome back to my humble little channel. Yeah, I just decided to do a stream because I have not done one in a while, and I don't want to end up getting so out of the out of the swing of things, I guess, that I just am totally lost and disconnected from how to do this. I want to try and do it consistently enough to stay comfortable doing it. Hi, Vladimir. You indeed are first. If anybody's watching this later, don't forget to switch to live chat, because this is not Sesame Street. This is, in fact, a website where hopefully only adults and people capable of making their own judgments on what they should and should not be exposed to go, and stuff. And I don't know what to talk about. I just haven't done this in a while, so I thought I would. And you can probably tell, if you've seen any of my other unfortunate streams, that the OBS setup around me is a little bit different. And that's because I used to include the little pop-out window chat as its own little element in OBS. But now that YouTube finally caught on and realized that it might be relevant to show what the streamer is responding to by having the chat replay in real time, I don't have to do that anymore. And so I don't really know how to set up my OBS space, because I like to have a lot of goofy stuff going on, and it's less stressful for me when I know you guys might actually be looking at something other than me. I don't like being the spotlight, ironically, for someone who makes YouTube videos. So I don't know what I'm doing with my OBS scene freaking thing, so be patient with me. Hi, 3 watchers. Let me think here. What do I need to do? I should probably tweet this out. I don't think it automatically sends the stuff out. Give me just a moment here. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't make noises like that. Alright, looking at me IRL on Twitter. That is, in fact, not what I came here to do. Okay. So, while I'm doing this, howdy. How is everyone? How are you, Vladimir? How have you been? You're in, are you in Indiana? Probably not. I feel like you're in an I state, but I don't remember which one. Give me a minute here. Aw, look, there I am, and I look awful. I'm flipping my hair. Hopefully it will change the thumbnail later. I need to stop making stupid faces so it has something decent to... You know what? Never mind, it's fine. I do want to say... Oh, hi, Malevolent Rider. I want to say, since I know quite a few of you are new, I've been kind of gaining a steady but slow stream of subscribers. Welcome, of course. Please don't ever hesitate to get a hold of me if you ever want to talk about anything, if you have any video suggestions, topic suggestions for me to cover, etc. And you may be thinking, oh, this girl is clearly a fan of sports because she's wearing a Packers shirt. No, I know nothing about football. I know nothing about sports. The only thing I know is that I love Vlad Masters, the bad guy from Danny Phantom, which, yes, is a show for 10-year-old boys. And because Vlad wanted to buy the Packers and loves the Packers, I spent $100 on Packers merchandise, because that's how ill-adjusted I am mentally. So just getting that out of the way now, ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to tweet now that I've obtained a link that I am streaming, and I'm also going to type, I'm streaming space :3 space. Okay. Very good. Very nice. Alrighty then. Tonight is the WWE Hall of Fame. Also, some letters versus letters tomorrow, something, etc. And Sunday WrestleMania. Well, I know you're super into wrestling, malevolent writer. So I hope you enjoy watching all that. Are you going to try and catch all of that? I don't know. I don't have TV. I mean, I'm sure that stuff streams online too. Most sports and, you know, like live events stream online, but I don't have TV, so I miss out on a lot of events like that. I do remember, like, that the Super Bowl would always be on Sundays. So, like, one Monday out of the year, all the jocks would be, like, too tired, and half of them would be too depressed from their team losing to be mean to me and my friends. So there was, like, one Monday out of the school year that was worth not killing myself on. That's, like, the only way sports pertains to me, other than the Vlad thing. So, what's going on? Two whole people watching. Well, how are you? How are you, buddies? So, you might have seen that I uploaded a video this morning. Did I put it up this morning or last night? I think I just left it ready to publish last night and finally got around to it this morning on Ready Player One, the movie adaptation of those books that I saw. And I am not exceedingly happy with that video. It's complete trash. Actually, I'm not pleased with how that came out whatsoever, which is why I kind of sat on it for ages. Hi, Chaos Eve. I hope you're doing well. So, yeah, normally I try and get videos out either like Monday and Thursday, or like usually it ends up being more like Tuesday night and then maybe Friday or Saturday. But I'm trying to hold myself to the standard where I upload 2 videos a week, just because I know you guys don't really mind, and I know my patrons don't really care if I adhere to that schedule or not. But I just like to give myself that amount of structure. I like to give myself that amount of responsibility, and it's good to have reasons to force myself to do writing and to get in front of a camera and to do creative things and to keep all of those skills, you know, kind of fresh by pushing myself to do them often. So, I don't know, I might stream again actually like tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. So that's that. I don't know what else is going on. I didn't even check to see if anybody was streaming at the moment. Normally I try and check and make sure that nobody else is streaming when I'm going to, because I never want to like compete with anyone, and I never want anybody to feel obligated to be watching me when they'd be watching someone else. Dang it, is Weibo streaming right now? I thought she streamed a while ago. Well, Weibo is very cute, so I will not be offended if anyone, like, watches her instead. Sometimes, like, if I want somebody to do well, I will leave their stream open and mute it and just, like, be doing stuff in another tab. Or a lot of the time I'll, like, watch streams or videos, and then I'll, like, be playing The Sims or just doodling or doing something else at the same time, because it's nice to have something to listen to in the background. I lately have been listening to all of the Sleepycast episodes, and I discovered Sleepycast by discovering Oni, and I discovered Oni NG by watching Game Grumps. I'd had like a, oh yeah, Weibo is having her birthday stream, so she is, how old is Weibo? No longer a teenager, but not old enough to drink. That's 20. That's 20. I can use deductive reasoning skills. Oh my god, Weibo is so cute. Like, I don't know how not to be creepy to people. Clearly, as you can tell by the fact that I scare all of my friends and potential friends away by being creepy. It's just my nature. I don't know how not to be, but like, Weibo is so cute. She is so adorable. And she is so funny, and she has like this scary, wrathful sense of humor, and I just want to pick her up and squeeze her, you know? Like the way you see a little fuzzy animal and you just want to pick them up and squeeze them. Even if like it's a feral animal that might claw your eyeballs out, as I feel like Weibo might do if a stranger picked her up and tried to hug her. But oh my god, she's so sweet. Yeah, I like Weibo. And her hair, okay, I know we're not really a girly little group of people here, but her hair is so pretty. Like, oh my god, her hair is so pretty. How does somebody's hair get that pretty? Like, Weibo does these incredibly thoroughly researched scripted videos that are so articulate, and they're interesting and charming, and they're a very kind of informative, no nonsense, like not condescending format. Like, her videos are so good, and she's just like rolling out all of these statistics, and she's super articulate and verbose, and I'm just sitting there like, how is her hair so shiny? Like, I'm incapable of focusing on the topic at hand. Kind of in the same way as like when I watch Count Dankula's videos, I'm just like repeating everything he says and trying to get his accent down. Like, I have to watch his videos a second time to even like absorb any of what he's actually talking about. Michelle is a sweetheart. Well, thank you. Hi, Fabiano. You are not first. You are welcome, and I'm really glad you're here, and I hope you're doing well. How are you? But there are a couple people being rambunctious in here. But yeah, like lately I've been listening to like the Sleepy Cast episodes, and like I used to watch Game Grumps a lot, and I just got kind of tired of them. I don't want to be one of those people who is like fetishizes nostalgia, you know. I do think the JonTron era was better just because it was the dynamic between the two hosts was more dynamic, literally. And just like back then it was a lot more like an improv comedy show where Aaron and Danny are just like it's just like happy feels hangout buddies time, which is wonderful and entertaining, but it's just not quite as interesting to me with my personal tastes as like the Aaron and John stuff was. And then the Game Grumps started doing a series called Doodle Dudes, where they just have different like animator, artist, you know, fellow like YouTube Let's Player type people on, and they host them, and they'll have like drawing prompts that they do, and they'll just show you in real time as they do these drawings, and it's hilarious. And that is how I discovered Oni NG. I'd seen a bunch of Oni stuff before, obviously. You know, all of his parodies, but yeah, I saw him in an episode of Doodle Dudes, and then I was like, this guy is incredible. So I started watching Oni Plays, and then I went back and rewatched all of Oni's like Newgrounds type videos, and I went from watching Oni Plays to then I started watching a lot more like Stamper, Psychic Pebbles, Rice Pirates stuff, a bunch of those people. And that's pretty much all I do now. I watch them, and I listen to Sleepy Cabin. And when I'm out of Sleepy Cabins, I'm going to be heartbroken because they're hilarious, and I adore these people, and they're just so creative and so entertaining, and I adore listening to them. Tinder's not romantic. Trust me, I've looked into it. I'm always intrigued by these dating app things. And like clearly I'm kind of spoken for. Like, I have no use for a dating app. But supposedly like the premise of Tinder is like that you can also just be looking for friends, which is completely ludicrous to me because everybody knows what people actually use Tinder for, and it's not to find friends in any capacity. But I really want to, like, if I didn't already have so little space on my phone that I'm like 2 software updates behind, I would download Tinder and make a profile as the Glob Glow Gab Galab and just see what people do. But I don't have room on my phone, so I'm not going to do it. Fabiano says, no more Ready Player One talk. Well, I mean, I can discuss it, I guess. Oh my god, I just knocked something down under my desk and I almost pooed. It was so scary. I don't know. I was really, really tired when... What, punk? I was really tired when I filmed that. Like I looked like a nightmare, dude. I had so much makeup on. I looked like, I don't even know what, like a corpse that like was repainted in like Victorian times to try to look less creepy at its funeral. So I was like, I'm all makeuped up and stuff, so I might as well make a video. And I did kind of want to get my thoughts down on the movie because I definitely had not planned to see it until other people invited us to go see it. So I don't know. I kind of want to read the books. I'm hoping if they're worth reading, people will let me know in the comments and stuff, or get a hold of me somehow, because it really is an interesting premise. That's for sure. And I definitely liked Ready Player One more than I thought I would. That's for sure. And I don't know. I touched on this obviously in my video, but I was amazed. Like the character Halliday, the guy who created the Oasis, the virtual world that like the whole movie takes place in, he's such an amazing character. He is so sweet and relatable, and like everybody has a friend or two who are very similar to him in demeanor, in mannerisms, in just the way they think and interact with the real world. And it was just so funny, you know. He was such a sweet, compelling, interesting character, while all the other characters were just kind of very typical, you know, like character tropes. At least that's the way it came across in the movie, and I was just dumbfounded that there was like one character in Ready Player One who was so sweet and charming and interesting, and then the rest of the characters were very dull and very flat. And just, I know it's horrible and really petty, but the main character, just his face, he just has that face. He has that kind of face that is just so obscenely unpleasant to me that I don't know what to do with myself. Like, it's hard to look at someone who looks like him. I know that's really, really mean, but he's kind of got that, like, Steven Crowder, like, Vegan Gains sort of face. Like, he kind of looks like some guy. There's some guy he looks like that whose name I can't think of at all, so that's not helpful. But just the main character was so, I don't know. Like, his intentions were noble and stuff. You know, like, he's a good character, I guess. But I don't know. He was not multifaceted enough. He was not complex enough to be compelling. But, like, obviously, the visuals in Ready Player One were breathtaking. And I love that I just love that there were a lot of references to games from pretty much every era of gaming that there has been thus far. I definitely was expecting it to be all like very recent, you know, gimmicky, obnoxious AAA title references, and I was glad that it wasn't that way. Hush. Okay, sorry. I forgot to silence my phone. I'm looking at your stuff now, guys. I'm checking up on the chat on what you guys have been saying. A fuzzy just like blew out of my nose. That's disgusting. Flowers, candy, poetry, chocolate covered strawberries. Really? Because I think like chloroform in the dead of night is romantic, but I have slightly abnormal tastes. No, Nemo, I will not watch Tomb Raider. Do you mean the new Tomb Raider? Because I have even less interest in watching that lady, because she's not Angelina Jolie. Oh, and by Malevolent Writer. Clearly he left already. Liquid Snake's Love Child. Hi, is that your real nose? Me? Is this my... I mean, yeah, it's my nose. You can look in all my videos. It's I grew it myself. All authentic, organic cartilage and boogies. It's my nose. All right. Hi, G-Money. G-Money said, I can't believe theaters even exist anymore. It's like, hey, let's watch a movie in the most inconvenient way possible. I kind of agree with that, Chaos Eve. It depends. Like, I kind of live in a small town, and our local theater is It's small and dingy, and the seats were extremely uncomfortable until they recently replaced them with like semi-cushioned seats with, you know, like slightly less lice embedded in and colonizing on them. But I like the experience of being in a theater. I love the enormous screen. I love just the sound quality and the volume of sound. And I know some people have enough money that they can have massive, like, flat screen TVs and great sound systems at home and can more or less replicate that. But I do like the theater experience as long as there aren't a bunch of, like, nasty, obnoxious teenagers there playing on their phones throughout the movie and talking throughout the movie. Or, like, when I saw Coraline in theaters, there were a bunch of idiot parents who brought their, like, infants in there and toddlers. Like, what kind of moron thinks that a movie that's that creepy? Wasn't Coraline rated PG? What kind of idiot brings their toddler to that movie and doesn't think the toddler is going to be screaming the whole time? Like, you are going to single-handedly turn me pro-abortion. Like, I'm going to abort your child that's existed for 2 years because you can't shut it up, because you're traumatizing it by bringing it to a movie that it clearly is not old enough to be able to see without being traumatized. Those parts of the theater experience I do not enjoy, but when you go to nicer theaters, unlike the one we have here in town, they're usually they're so bright and so loud that even if people are screwing around in the theater and the ushers don't usher them out, like, they're kind of drowned out by the sound and all the excitement. So, I don't know. I still do like going to theaters a lot. I can't afford to. We don't go to them very often, but I love that experience if there's a movie I actually want to see, which is extremely rare. If they had picked the game model for the character, I would have given it a go. Yeah. Tomb Raider's not worth the bother for a poor script. See, my problem is that I'm sure I've mentioned this before, and I apologize if I'm being redundant, and I'm sure I am. But that's just not a genre that particularly appeals to me, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but, like, Indiana Jones type stuff, Tomb Raider type stuff is just, I cannot force myself to be interested in that genre. I can't. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know it's, like, wildly popular, but I just can't make myself like stuff like that. I don't know. It's just, it's silly and campy, and I don't know, like, the way that the genre, I guess, crafts a movie's storyline around all of these ancient relics and, I don't know, just, like, weird bandits in the middle of the desert is just the antithesis of interesting to me. I don't know. And it's not like I think that any of those individual aspects of the genre couldn't be done in a really compelling way. It's just the way that the genre is, and the way that every movie kind of in that genre sort of hammers home that is the only way to present those elements, it's just not interesting to me. They will never learn to stop making video games poorly. You mean like adapting video games into movies? Because, yeah, I agree with that, absolutely. Are the pictures on the slides on the sides your art? Chaos Eve asked. Yeah, they're kind of older. Like, the one drawing, the realistic girl is from, like, early high school, so I drew her, like, 7 years ago. The other girl, the more cartoony one on that side, is from, like, 3 years ago, maybe? Yeah, I just picked some of my art that I'm a little bit more proud of or less embarrassed of, and I made it part of that little banner. Like, that's my banner on Twitter as well. And it's just, like, 2 decent pictures of me, but they're on the ends because they're not as important, so I'll crop them out. Sometimes my kitties, my deceased ferret, and, yeah, a bunch of fan art. So those 2 are indeed drawn by me. And I drew both of those in pen with like no sketch beforehand or anything. I draw a lot better just drawing in pen than like drawing in pencil first, or like sketching in pencil and then drawing over it. I don't know. Pencil drawing is really hard for me. It does not go well. If I just like sit down and like put a pen to paper, I can draw really cool things, which doesn't make any sense. I know that that's kind of counterintuitive, but like I'm trying to think. I think I have a drawing here. She's kind of like a saucy pinup, so don't be offended, but like this girl, I'm drawing her. You can't see her very well. She looks so backwards because in like OBS she is backwards. But like I'm trying to draw this girl entirely in pencil, and it's really hard for me to draw in pencil. I do not like it. I don't know. I do a lot better when I draw in ink than pencil. I don't know what else. I'm not going to hang out here too much longer. I just wanted to kind of check in and say hi and make sure you guys were all doing okay and get at least one video up this week other than the complete garbage movie review one. Legasp. I'm sorry. Have I stolen your innocence, Chaos Eve? I know it is scandalous. I'm sorry. I don't know. I draw a lot of like kind of salacious like pinup type drawings. I draw a lot of like sexy curvaceous ladies. And then I just don't post most of them because I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. And I'm always in the position where like I'm so conservative that like my super leftist friends like don't tolerate me and stop talking to me and unfollow me on the internet. But then I'm just kind of inappropriate enough and racy with my art and like crass with my humor that I alienate all of my super conservative friends. So that leaves a very small number of you who I'm immensely grateful for. Finger painting is fun when you're on the right opioids. Indeed. I actually have not finger painted since in about 20 years. Maybe a little under. I've finger painted since I was 5. I've probably finger painted at like age 6 or 7. I'd always love to see your art. Okay, well I don't know, I might make like a goofy slideshow of it on here just to have sort of like a portfolio or a showcase of it on YouTube. And I do have a DeviantArt, although I have not uploaded anything to that in about a year. I upload some of my drawings to my Instagram account, which I do believe is linked in the description here, and some to Twitter. So unfortunately there's like no one good place to see my art if you're interested, but sorry. If you remind me at any time that you want to see some art, just let me know and I will post some. But I draw a lot of saucy ladies. It's back in a big way. Look out for it. What? Finger painting? It's a little scary. I don't know how I feel about that. You still finger paint nowadays though. Me? What? Is this some innuendo I don't understand? Is finger painting slang for something? I don't understand. I do have crayons. I have some bathtub crayons where you can draw on like the vinyl or whatever of your bathtub. And those are great. And they're really hard to wash off and stuff, but I like them. So I do draw with crayons sometimes. Nice eyeshadow. Thank you. Yeah, I just decided I'd get all purdied up today, slap a bunch of garbage on my face and stream. I have like this app I use on my phone where I get like really cheap like knockoff like makeup brands and eyeshadow and stuff. And this is one of those it's one of those eyeshadow palettes. It's beautiful. It's like it's a cheap, it's like a duplicate type version of some obscenely expensive brand of makeup, but like these eyeshadows, even though it's super cheap, they're like beautifully pigmented. They're so high quality, and it's just like, I don't know, it's really nice to be able to not spend $8 like quintillion dollars on like one little thing of makeup. You know, you can get stuff cheap that's still good quality. I used the sensation color for my eyelids. I just like put it on my finger and slapped it on. And then I used this color, the kind of like really dark teal. I just like did it like winged eyeliner because I was trying to do something different for me. Live stream drawings. Fabiano, I have done that in the past, but it was just like Microsoft Paint drawings. I have a playlist of all of my streams on my page, and there are a couple of those in there. I need to do some more of those because those are super fun, and I know you guys enjoy those. It's fun to like give drawing requests and just do my best, and it's terrible and hilarious. I need to get my Wacom tablet working, or I need to figure out a way to like hook my Surface tablet up to my computer so I can draw like with an actual pen like stylus, and you guys can see how I do when I'm not just drawing like with a mouse, you know, in Microsoft Paint, because I think that would be a lot more entertaining for you guys than even just the paint stuff, you know. It would be more serious. So you finger painted your eyeshadow. Shut up! You have a good point, actually. That I did. So, okay. Yeah, I'll do that again soon, Fabiano. I will live stream some like MS Paint type drawings soon, because that's a lot of fun. What else? I'm being visited. You have Doritos. I don't have Doritos. I don't need Doritos. I'm trying to lose weight. What else? What do you guys think? Do you guys have anything interesting going on? I will probably only be on another like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. I always say that, and then I'm on for like 3 more hours. But I do kind of want to get off of here shortly. Do you guys have any interesting topics you want me to cover in videos in the next couple days or weeks? I have a couple in mind, some of them that I've been putting off for ages and that I need to do, but they're just going to take a while because it's a lot to script and a lot of research and just screenshots that I'm a perfectionist about. It's a lot of stuff that'll take quite a while for me to get to where I find it satisfactory and good enough to put online. Uh-oh, let's draw a new random topic card from the box. Okay. I do not possess this box. I get the impression that you're the only one with the box and the topics, so I will try. Whatever you throw up there, whatever you suggest. Let's use that phrasing instead. Strategy card games. Is that the topic? Strategy card games? Because I don't know anything about that. You could do the resurgence of finger painting among adults. Alright, look, like with the advent of feminist art and stuff like that that's been going on, I don't know if I want to go into any pursuit remotely similar or comparable to that. So maybe not. I would like to be the person to like turn MS Paint art into like a respectable profession. That would be hilarious. Okay, yeah. Castaneda said, cover the YouTube shooter. She's interesting, a vegan and animal rights activist. I actually feel sorry for her. Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to bring up. That was very interesting. I mean, obviously it was horrific, but she was a very interesting person, and I do want to cover that because I kind of feel bad for her too. Like, obviously, when you decide to rob other people of their right to life, that's despicable and disgusting, and there's no excuse for that, and you have kind of forfeit your own right to life when you take away someone else's, or you attempt to take away someone else's. But I do kind of feel bad for her too, now that I've seen a lot of her content, and that's something that should have videos done on it. The fact that even though she didn't violate any of YouTube's policies, they took all her videos down on all of her channels. That's a little weird, and I understand what she did was heinous and it was a direct affront against YouTube itself, but like, that doesn't mean that you should delete the entire documentation of her. And I saw somebody on Twitter kind of, the way they articulated it is that YouTube was trying to deperson her and try to wipe all record of her from the internet because she does not fit the you know, pervasive leftist narrative of evil Christian racist white NRA members are the ones who do the shooting. Ironically, that no NRA members have perpetrated mass shootings. Most of them are Democrats. But, you know, it's like, because this woman did not fit that narrative whatsoever, people kind of think that that's why her entire, like, online presence is being eradicated. So that's definitely interesting, because it shouldn't be, you know, as grotesque as it is to go back and watch her stuff. I think that that's something that people should have a right to do. But, you know, as always, it's one of those things where YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter are pushing a very specific political narrative, and they are going to continue to do so always, or until, I don't know, just always. Because YouTube doesn't make a profit being YouTube. They have always operated at a loss. They have motives other than being profitable. And it's just one of those things that's going to keep happening. It's up to us to find and create alternatives to these pro-censorship, ultra-leftist sites. And until we are willing to make that switch, or until we are willing to at least try to support alternative platforms, this is going to continue, and it's going to get worse. What strategy card games do you like? I'll think about that, Fabiano. I'm not sure. And hi, Outmaxed. Your volume is broken or something, so wait if you get this. Hi! I'm sorry your volume is broken. I know you can't hear me saying that. I would write that on paper and hold it up for you, but I don't have any paper around except for the saucy lady, and I don't want to write over her. And, Malevolent Writer says, promote Weibo B-Day stream and Numbed Skull 1-year anniversary stream. Yeah, Malevolent Writer, I did mention that Weibo was having her stream. I saw it earlier when it was scheduled. I didn't realize it was going to be going on now. And if any of you would much rather be watching Weibo, I don't blame you. She's adorable and charming, and I love Weibo to death. And I don't want anybody to feel like, dang it, Layman is streaming too. See, I want to go watch him. That's probably what I'll do next. But yeah, I don't ever want you guys to feel, I don't want you to feel obligated to be here, like, because you feel bad for me, or you don't want me to have nobody to talk to. If there's somebody else on that you'd rather watch them. You know, I try to stream when nobody else is streaming, but that's almost impossible to do, as big as this, like, genre has gotten. So, I get it. It's fine. They even deleted her entire homepage. I saw that. Isn't that creepy? Isn't that weird? Like, yes, what she did was despicable. Yes, she is a monster, and she deserves to be forgotten for doing the disgusting, cowardly things she did by attempting to kill people. But it's not YouTube's place to try to make absolutely sure that she is forgotten. Like, nothing in her videos, to my knowledge, violated their terms of service. And the more I thought about it, the more I agree that I think YouTube is trying to deperson her. That was the phrasing they used. I don't really know if that's the correct terminology or the phraseology I would use, but it's like they are trying to wipe her existence from the internet, since she doesn't fit the narrative of being, some nasty, bigoted Republican NRA member white shooter, which is sick and despicable. Like, people are dying and you're still frantically scrambling to make sure your narrative stays intact. Like, I don't know, some of the people who orchestrate the narrative, like the all minorities are victims and helpless and they need taken care of, and all white people are sick and evil. That the progressive narrative. The people who are doing that, the people who are orchestrating it, you know, the social organizers and the politicians and the people in the media are absolutely evil. Heinously, unabashedly evil. And it's sick. It's sick, but there are a lot of people like that. There are a lot of people who are much more interested in pushing their political agenda than they are actually honoring victims, for example, or anything like that. Promise me you'll check out Numbed Skull. I will look into him, Malevolent Writer. Him or them, I'm sorry, I've never heard of the channel, but I'll look into them. You said it's their 1-year anniversary. That's awesome. YouTube would be dead without Google's backing. They only operate it at a deficit because it benefits them. Exactly, Chaos EU. I couldn't agree more. Google can only afford to back things like YouTube as taxpayers fund the construction cost of Google's server farms and also pick up the tab for Google's tax cuts. Well, Google equals rich people's welfare. That's really interesting. I'm really glad that, like, when somebody streams, it captures the chat and, like, replays it in real time, because that's really interesting, and I think people should think about that. Google is rich people's welfare. I have a screen cap of her entire homepage, by the way, if anyone wants it. Yeah, I know it's inappropriate, but, like, as soon as all this came out and the identity of the shooter was revealed, I was frantically everywhere I could try and find. I was trying to find it, and I really hope people upload her stuff to some site, not because I think she deserves any recognition after what she did, but because it's nefarious that all of her stuff that didn't violate YouTube's TOS has been taken down. And I think people could make a massive amount of money, you know, if they wanted to, if somebody had, like, the full record of all of her videos. And you know, people were downloading every one of her videos as soon as it came out who the shooter was, because they knew they were all going to get taken down. Like, you could make a killing selling those videos to some site to re-upload them, because everybody is just ravenous to see all of the crazy stuff that she did, all of the bizarre, almost like meme tier videos she made, because she clearly was an extremely unsound woman mentally, and it is sad. It's really sad. It's kind of pitiful. Deperson is a good term. You think so? I think they took it down, Chaos Eve said, to avoid the cringiness of having a dead person who tried to kill 4 people on their site. Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. That does make sense. They targeted her long before she tried to shoot anyone, as she didn't fit the media narrative. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. You know, the vast majority of the information and the context about this shooting and any shooting will never come to light. I know it may sound conspiracy theorist-esque, but I fully believe that a vast amount of cover-up is implemented every time there's a tragedy like this. It's all about pushing the narrative. It's all about controlling the perception of the populace, you know, because the truth would not, I guess the truth would not vindicate or reinforce, you know, the anti-white, anti-gun, anti-NRA narrative. You know, the narrative that all minorities are just stupid and helpless and, you know, need to be pulled up and taken care of and coddled by all the rich white people in the government, all of that crap. It's not supported by reality, which is why reality has to be twisted and heavily censored, you know, before the media will actually spoon feed us any of it. I wouldn't go that far. I think it's just self-preservation. I hope you're right, Chaos Eve, and you might be. Do you have a screen cap of that? Castaneda? I'm sorry. I probably mispronounce a lot of your usernames. I know I do. But yeah, you know what? That's a good idea, you guys. I definitely will make a video on that coming up. And her videos were also delisted or censored, but you're not certain about that. Okay, that's interesting. I know. Yeah, I think what's even more disturbing about this shooting is that her reasoning for doing this is something that resonates with all of us. I mean, the vast majority of us would never do something so despicable and evil. But I think the vast majority of content creators can relate to her frustration with the completely unfair way that YouTube decides to silence some people and promote other people. Which is, I mean, that's what was most disturbing to me, other than, of course, the fact that people almost lost their lives. It's just that everybody has those frustrations, you know, and to see somebody take that anger to the extreme and to attempt to rob people of their lives it's a really, really uncomfortable, disturbing feeling. I heard a rumor going around that she was trans. There's no evidence of that. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, in her butt workout video, she doesn't look trans. Everything looks real. I don't know. I believe her Daily Motion is still up, or it was when I looked into it, and you can definitely tell from her videos that she was very disturbed. And I feel bad for her in some ways, because there's definitely a mental health crisis going on. I obviously think that we need to cut spending massively as a nation, but I think one of the areas that we should not be cutting spending on, and that we should not have cut spending on in the last decade or so, is mental health. You know, I think we desperately need more resources for the mentally ill. You know, we don't need to tell them that they are capable of anything and they're being oppressed by being labeled as mentally ill. They need help, you know. And unfortunately, that's one of those areas in which the government is usually who takes the role of stepping in and providing those resources. But I also feel like, I mean, I totally understand why people are vegans, and the amount of animal cruelty that goes on, even in, you know, our pretty heavily regulated, at least in comparison to other countries, meat industry. It is horrifying. And I feel like anybody who dwells on that for a long time, the same way as anybody who tries to take down sex traffickers or the people who post child pornography or anything sick like that, anybody who chooses to delve into that evil, that darkness, to try and stop it and bring it to light, that's gonna hurt you. That is going to destroy you psychologically. You know, dwelling on the most horrific, sad, sadistic, evil, dark parts of life. And I feel like that might be part of why a lot of vegans come across as unhinged, is just because I can't even fathom coming out of that unscathed when you're researching how people treat animals. And you know, that would screw anybody up. You know, that would destroy anybody mentally, or at least weigh on you. Like the push the WHO is making to get gender dysphoria declassified as a mental disorder. Yeah, obviously it's a mental disorder. And acknowledging that gender dysphoria is a mental disorder, that in no way invalidates the experiences and the dignity of trans people. By pretending that there's not something wrong there I think it trivializes and belittles the tribulation, you know, all of the hardship that trans people go through. I think it's doing them a disservice, you know, under the guise of being about acceptance and progressivism. Bad move in my opinion. I agree, absolutely, Chaos Eve. Alright, well, I'm probably going to get going here. I said I was going to get going, and then I stayed a lot longer than I said I would. But thank you guys so much for coming. I really hope you're all doing well. As always, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me if you ever need advice, or you have suggestions, or you want to hear my opinions on different political or cultural topics or whatever. And I will have another video up next week and stuff. And yeah, I'm immensely grateful for you guys, and I will see you again soon. So that's all, I guess. Bye.